Blessed Thomas Percy, 7th Earl of Northumberland, 1st Baron Percy, KG, led the rising of the North and was executed for treason. He was later beatified by the Catholic Church. Early life. Percy was the eldest son of Sir Thomas Percy and Eleanor, daughter of Sir Guiscard Harbottle. He was the nephew of Henry Percy, 6th Earl of Northumberland, with whom Anne Boleyn had a romantic association before she became the wife of King Henry VIII. When Thomas was 8 years old, his father, Sir Thomas Percy, was executed at Tyburn for having taken a leading part in the Pilgrimage of Grace, and he also is considered a martyr by many. Thomas and his brother Henry were then removed from the mother's keeping and entrusted to Sir Thomas Tempest. In 1549, when Thomas Percy came of age, an act was passed for the restitution in blood of Mr. Thomas Percy. Shortly afterwards he was knighted, and 3 years later, in Queen Mary's reign, he regained his ancestral honours and lands. He was returned as Member of Parliament for Westmoreland in the Parliament of England, called in November 1554. Declared governor of Prudhoe Castle, he besieged and took Scarborough Castle, which was seized by rebels in 1557. In reward he was granted the title of Earl of Northumberland and the baronies of Percy, Poynings, Lucy, Bryan, and Fitzspan were restored to him on the 1st of May 1557. He was installed at Whitehall with great pomp, and soon after was named Warden General of the Marches, in which capacity he fought and defeated the Scots. Life under Elizabeth's reign. On Elizabeth's succession, the Earl, whose loyalty to the Catholic Church was known, was kept in the North while the anti-Catholic measures of Elizabeth's first Parliament were passed. Elizabeth continued to show him favour, and in 1563 gave him the Order of the Garter. He had then resigned the wardenship and was living in the south, but the systematic persecution of the Catholics rendered the position most difficult, and in the autumn of 1569 the Catholic gentry in the north, stirred up by rumours of the approaching excommunication of Elizabeth, were planning to liberate Mary, Queen of Scots, and obtain liberty of worship. Earl Thomas with the Earl of Westmoreland wrote to the Pope asking for advice, but before the letter reached Rome circumstances hurried them into action against the better judgment. Marriage and progeny. In 1558 he married Anne Somerset, daughter of Henry Somerset, 2nd Earl of Worcester, by whom he had the following progeny: Thomas Percy, Baron Percy, predeceased his father. Elizabeth Percy, wife of Richard Woodroffe of Woolley, son of Francis Woodroffe. Joan Percy, wife of Lord Henry Seymour, a younger son of Edward Seymour, 1st Duke of Somerset by his wife Anne Stanhope. Lucy Percy, wife of Edward Stanley of Tynecastle, the son of Sir Thomas Stanley by his wife Margaret Vernon. Mary Percy, a nun, founder of Benedictine dames in Brussels, from which nearly all the existing houses of Benedictine nuns in England are descended. Death, capture and beheading. After the rising of the North failed, Thomas fled to Scotland, where he was captured by the Earl of Morton, one of the leading Scottish nobles. After 3 years, he was sold to the English government for £2,000. He was conducted to York and on the 22nd of August 1572 was beheaded at a public execution, refusing an offer to save his life by renouncing Catholicism. His headless body was buried at the now demolished St. Crux Church in York. Succession. His wife survived him, as did 4 daughters who were his co-heirs. As his only son had predeceased him without male issue, the earldom passed to his younger brother Henry Percy, 8th Earl of Northumberland. Beatification. He was beatified by Pope Leo XIII on the 13th of May 1895, and his festival was appointed to be observed in the Diocese of Hexham and Newcastle annually on 14 November.